What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hold the Husband podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Baba. What's good, man?
Not much, man. Looking to get into another great episode tonight, but want to remind you, make sure you're subscribing to us on YouTube as well as follow us on TikTok at Hold the Husband Podcast. And for anybody that's interested in advertising with us or want to shout out, y'all know what to do. Y'all can shoot us a DM at Hold the Husband Podcast on Instagram, as well as shoot us an email at holdthehusbandpodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
Also got my man SD in the building. What's good?
Nothing, man. Just happy to be alive, man. That's it. I want to give a
Alrighty.
shout out to Brother Soul Productions for keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold the Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind everybody that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Reality Check. We wanted to have a discussion about some of the harsh realities that come with dating and relationships. But y'all know how we do it around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen trending or on our timelines. And so this first video is a woman that went viral. We've seen talking about being unequally yoked with the man. Let's take a listen.
Why is it that when it comes to money, because I'm an accountant, right? When it comes to money, why are black men specifically so up in arms about it? Money matters. I manage it all day long. Why can't you own a fleet of buses? Why can't you? Why are you limiting yourself? What if I say, okay, you driving a bus, I want you to own the bus. And you say, no, I don't want to do that, I enjoy. Okay, well then you're not the man for me because I'm an entrepreneur. So you're going to limit me. You're going to want me to be at home with you, laying on the couch. No, I'm a grinder. I'm out here, when I don't like the word hustling either, but I'm out here trying to make things happen for myself, and I've been doing it. So why would I be with somebody who is not going to do it? Not to down you, but we're unequally yoked. So that's the only thing that I got to say. We don't want to down black men. We don't want to say that you're not doing anything with your life. But it becomes a problem when we are unequally yoked. And yes, I'm single and I'm going to stay single if I can't find me nobody that's going to be on my level. Because what my ass is not going to do is going to be looking at you like, yeah, I should have made a better decision.
All right, now she said a lot, so there's a lot to unpack. I don't have an issue with a woman expecting a man to make money. I think men that have careers that earn a decent living, we don't really have these issues with women when it comes to money. So her conversation or this type of post is not directed at men like myself. But I think when we talk about women, a lot of women have unrealistic expectations of money. They expect to have a dude that make $500,000 and drive a Lambo, and his idea of fun is taking her on a shopping spree. Like they don't have a realistic perspective on the reality of their dating pool when it comes to money.
Hey, you know what? I'm all for her and what she's saying. Why
Right.
can't you own this? You at home laying on the couch, you ain't gonna limit me. Cool. Because that's what's important to women. That's why they go to the money and they feel some type of way about this whole bus driver thing, right? Because money is so important to a woman, especially when she initially meets a man. She wants to get an idea of his finances to see if he's worth
True.
continuing
Yeah.
to date. Fine. Why can't he own the bus company? Why can't you lose 60 pounds, lady? Because she's overweight. To me, clearly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And men, for us, your physical, since we gonna be fair, right? Your physical to men is like the money for them initially. We want to see your physical and your looks, okay? That's what
Right.
we want to see. And for the type of men that she wants that makes this type of money, the more he's going to scrutinize your looks and your shape. So let's just be fair is all I'm saying. Don't get your panties in a bunch when a guy like me hops on here and say, hey, it's cool, but you don't qualify. We unequally yoked physically because I'm in shape.
Oh, shit.
I'm in shape. I go to the gym, and I mean, you a 4. You're a 4 and you overweight. But you want me because I'm an upper 5-6% earner? No, ma'am, you don't qualify for me neither. So that's why people gotta be.
They don't want to hear that part.
Right.
I know they don't, but it's the truth because that's how men are going to look at it, especially the more money that they make. But that's the part that stings them. They don't care about stinging the men, but when it flips and you tell them how the men they try to get really look at them and judge them, oh, now it's a problem. Now you shallow. You shallow because because you looking for a fine woman that's got a nice body. Well, yeah, you looking for a man that make 150,000 too. Your part is just as shallow as mine. But they don't look at it like that. They don't look at it as those types of men.
Well, neither one, but see the thing, neither one of those things are necessary for relationship success.
They're not.
You don't have, and that's the part that kind of gets frustrating. It gets talked about as if the problem with dating is men ain't making enough money and paying all the bills. And it's like, nah, because even in situations where women are getting all their bills paid, they still unhappy. They still complain about the things that they're required to contribute to a household and etc. What about you, Jay?
My problem with this is she's talking about a sector of men that, we can't really relate to. She's talking about losers and bumps, like a guy that's 25 and up and laying on his mama's couch. That, to me, that's a loser because most men who's about their business have ambitions or aspirations of getting further than where they are. Let's just say at the current moment they're making 50,000. Hey, they're looking how to see they can turn that 50,000 to 70, 80, and so on and so forth, right? So, and then she's trying to put this kind of on black men. Well, how come black men don't have aspirations of owning a fleet? It's almost what she was saying in so many words there, in my opinion.
The dudes that lack the ambition, I think women should avoid those type of men.
Absolutely.
But a lot of women, they want the man that has the fleet of buses.
All of them want that.
Right. They don't want to get with the dude that is working at a certain job and hustling and trying to put himself in a position to own something, whether that be a club, a food truck, or just something, some type of entrepreneur spirit. But I totally relate. I can't relate to somebody that's unambitious either. Like if you are dating somebody and they are not actively doing something to put themselves in a position to have success, like us, we are currently investing our time and energy and finances into producing a podcast. And it's scheduled, it's regimented. We have a audience, we have traction. So when somebody's really doing something, you can see tangible proof of their work.
Right.
Yeah, what it is? Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I was just saying what it is the men that she's talking about don't want her. The same thing with Ebony K. Williams. The men she wants, the guy that owns the bus does not want Ebony K. Williams. Now, to be fair, okay, most men are gonna get the best attractive woman that they could possibly get, just as women are gonna get the financially viable option that they can get.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I don't particularly like about it. It makes it seem like a guy that's just happy being a bus driver or being a plumber or being a carpenter and he's making $100,000. He's just not ambitious enough for me. He's not doing enough for me. And to me, that mindset is what's detrimental to our women. And that's question. Why she said, I'll continue to be single.
Be single.
Not only do you look at the men this way, but your attitude is off for the men that you want. I'm one of those guys that you want, right? I wouldn't look at you twice. I wouldn't pay you no attention because you're not physically there for me, period. And then on top of that, your attitude is bad. So yes, you're going to remain single if you're shooting for the stars.
But every time a woman's in that position where she's single, they always try to spin it and make it seem like it's their decision, and not just it's just a circumstance. The circumstance that they find themselves in relation to the men that they actually want.
Fellas, real quick, what's the problem? What's sad about with a lot of these women that have this disposition here is a lot of times is they'll wait until they get older and about the age out the dating game to say, hey, let me go get that plumber or that bus driver. And then, unfortunately, by then, you're a day late and $1 short.
Too late. You too late. Coochie dried up, titties on the floor. Titties on the floor. Now you talk about, hey, now you'll settle. You could have did that at 4, and it's not even settling. Her range for her looks and her shape is about $50,000-$60,000. That's her range. Them the type of guys she should be looking for to be happy with and build a life with. Because you could build a nice life and be comfortable with somebody that's making $60,000 and you making whatever it is you make. You can.
Absolutely.
But it wouldn't be it would be a negative view from her and her friends. She wouldn't be able to do the stuff on social media. She wouldn't be able to brag about him, etc. And that's a problem for a lot of women. They're looking for the validation from outsiders. That's why they don't value men that they could actually be compatible with.
Hey, take substance over validation there. That's my advice there.
Tell her to keep posting videos playing yarn ball with her cat. Keep playing yarn ball with your cat. Whatever. But the men ain't gonna change. They ain't gonna change. Y'all the ones at the disadvantage out here. They're the ones at the disadvantage, not the top percentile of men that they want. Those dudes got a smorgasbord of options. So a four that's out of shape getting out of the game ain't hurting him none.
I ain't hurting none.
That's hurting you. It ain't hurting those guys. So hey, have at it. Be single. More power to you, Queen.
All right, let's keep it rolling. This next video that we're gonna talk about is a video that went viral where an influencer that runs a gym with her husband was talking about her interactions with her husband's female clients. Let's take a listen.
Number one, you training with my husband, you better speak to me. Because my thing is, if you don't, I feel like you got some type of ulterior motive. Right. Why would you not? You know who I am. Yeah. You know who I am. I'm not hidden anywhere. Yeah. I'm all over his page. I'm in his stories. You know who I am.
I'm at his workplace. Yeah, I'm at his workplace.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you don't speak to me, then it's like, okay, so I'll tell him, you can't train her. She gotta go. She can't come back in here. And then, when he's training certain girls or whatever, like, it used to be a time where he used to be getting videos for him.
Some angles.
He's angles. Yeah.
All along like this
shit.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to sell the product.
Not at my expense. Right. So guess what? I be in that DM, delete it. Right. Delete that story, delete that post. No.
I don't even put on no fight no more. I'm like, she a hater.
You in my gym.
All right, now to me, this comes across as insecure. I can understand. My wife has had issues with people that we know from college. Chicks will come up and speak to me and not say nothing to her. She felt that was disrespectful. I get it. But when you're talking about somebody coming for a service, a person that's coming to your gym to get their workout from their personal trainer, they might not like you. They might not like your attitude. So that should not be, speaking to you should not be a requirement to be able to give services from your business. To me, that's a woman getting in her feelings and mixing that with her business.
Yeah, I think she over the top, man, with all of this here. And really, I think she don't trust him. That's what I really think a lot of it is.
Insecurity, facts.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I don't think she trusts him because she like, he got to delete this, or if she don't speak to me, she got to go because she feels some type of way. She think that she trying to sleep with her man. That's why she won't speak to her. I can almost guarantee it. So she don't want this type of chick around. She in his story telling him to delete stuff. In his DM, she said, like, she's actively checking his stuff to see who's there. And he's kind of stuck. He like, man, you know what? I don't even do this no more because I don't want to hear it. Like, he's stuck.
Yeah.
He's between a rock and a hard place. And she's trying to cheat-proof the relationship. And a lot of times when people try to cheat-proof relationships and go over the top with things, they typically drive the other person away with the behavior that they have So I think it's counterproductive, man. I think,
Absolutely. I think it's counterproductive as well, because it shows a level of insecurity. And mind you, y'all are running a business together. So you need to be able to, if you're running a business, you need to put your feelings to the side and put those insecurities aside in order to run a business. If you're sitting here, trying to run clients off, how do you expect, the business to thrive there? You say like Terry,
I was also like the thing she said, if a woman doesn't speak, I feel like whenever women start making major decisions off of how they feel, it's usually a bad situation.
Absolutely.
Because a woman could just not feel like speaking to you that day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what? She's not your client. Like, as long as there's nothing inappropriate going on and your husband ain't cheating, whether the client speaks to you or not really ain't a factor. And so women that'll come like, nah, you can't have her as a client. Like, man, that type of energy is very annoying from a male perspective.
Terry, I think the situation you just referenced with your wife, them speaking to you and not your wife, knowing that that's your wife, I think that's disrespectful. But
because she knows my wife, right?
Clearly, right? But this woman's going there to work with him because she is a client. She doesn't necessarily have to acknowledge her. She's just trying to go in there, get her work out of it, and go about her business.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so does every client have to speak to her? Like, I mean, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, every client that you train, they have to speak to me or else you got to get rid of them. Like, these grown people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's okay. If I ran like an accounting, like my wife runs an accounting business at her house, and I'm not going to require her clients to come say hello to me when they walk through the door here. Like, come on.
Handle your business, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's clearly trying to avoid the drama. But I think the fundamental thing that I took from that was insecurity, and like SD said, trying to cheat-proof a relationship, which we all know is impossible to do. So, the expectation that her husband's gonna be this popular fitness guru and have all these clients and all that. He's gonna have attractive women around. That boosts the business. Women that look like her, you know what I mean? Like, her attractiveness is fuel for the business as well. So because I will, if I was there or be able to have a discussion, I'd ask her, what if he was acting all insecure like that? Because men lusting after you and liking you because of how you look and how you shaped is a large reason that you have the following and the success that you have. So I would be interested to see how she would respond to that.
Yeah, and we don't know. Another thing we don't know is if it was caused by him, because I think they've been together for a long time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because they talked about he talked about losing his job or quitting and coming up. So I think they've been around each other for a long time, probably since they were a lot younger. And he's probably been a hoe out here.
I was just gonna ask you, do you think he was possibly a whole phase man back in the day?
Yeah, because he got that player. He got that player look to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just what it is. So I'm sure he's been a hoe in the past, and that probably plays into her insecurities as well, which in that particular case, I could understand it more. You know what I'm saying? Where she like, nah, because these here other hoes he was training when he was 25, these hoes, they wouldn't speak to me because they felt some type of way about me because he was secretly smashing these chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then I can get what she's saying and be like, yeah, bro, you need to talk to your clients like, yo, my wife gonna be there with me. So, you know what I'm saying? You need to speak to my wife because we run this business together. She's a business partner.
But that doesn't change anything. A woman could be fucking your man and speak to you every time she see you. So the logic behind it, like her philosophy, like, well, if you don't speak, that's my red flag that something's going on. Like, that's pretty elementary.
Exactly. I mean, the bottom line, I guess he said, it sounds like she's trying to cheat-proof the relationship. And at the end of the day, there's no way to cheat-proof the relationship. If this man want to go out and smash one of his clients on the side, he gonna do it, and ain't nothing you can do about it.
Nothing. But it's all about, you know what I'm saying? And Terry, you can attest to this being a married man. All right. And I'm saying this because it's all about making sure she's protected emotionally, especially if you have done something to cause her to be insecure. So if you have done something to cause her to be insecure with you around other women, which we are going to assume has happened at some point in their relationship, then you need to make her feel protected emotionally by, when you get these clients, make sure, hey, this is my wife, such and such, such and such. Since meeting them is an issue for your lady, you got to get out ahead of certain things to where she's not thinking in her head, why this hoe ain't speak to me? So that's how, as a man, you can protect your lady on an emotional level so that you don't have to deal with it later on.
But see, okay, so even if he introduces the client to her, hey, that's my wife, you can follow her, woo, woo, woo. If the woman don't speak, there's nothing that he can do to force the woman to speak or like his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it is something he can do. Hey, Danielle, this is my wife, Tanya.
That's introducing after that.
But I'm saying he can do that. Just, you know what I'm saying? If she don't speak for whatever reason, then he can say, hey, this is my wife, Tanya. Tanya, this is Danielle. We're going to be working out. Oh, hey, Danielle. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? He can cut that out right there.
Right.
That way.
Oh, you said like manually push the hello button.
That way he can do that already with every client when she's there or whatever. With every client, make it his business to do that. That way it's automatic. She ain't got to think nothing, because I'm bringing them to you and I'm going to introduce all my clients. That way it ain't no issue. You got to get out ahead of these here particular things with these here women, especially if you have done something to cause issues. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, man. Rebuilding the trust from getting caught texting, sexting, all those type of things. But the only thing that really that can really, fellas, the only way that you can really do that is by consistency. You know what I mean? Like being transparent, being open, and having a consistent history of being above the table. I used to be that dude, you know, deleting texts, and man, I've admitted that I've cheated before.
You delete those texts on the next tell.
And I can't. Man, it's so funny now that I ain't trying to pursue other women. It's such a relief. You know what I'm saying? Like man, not knowing who's gonna tell you or when a picture's gonna come through.
Nervous, ain't you?
It's exciting. It's exciting. Now, don't get me wrong. But it's very risky. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember in situations like that, just a basic conversation. You paranoid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to talk to you when I get home. It could be about something happened to her car, but I'm like, oh man, I'm going through my phone. Yeah, like so.
I hope she ain't talking about the chick that sent me the news the other day.
Or you'd be like, and she'd be like, baby, can I see your phone real quick? Man, what you mean see my phone? For what? What you mean? I want to see, see what app you got on such and such. Why you got to see my phone? And now she's like, wait a minute now. What's the problem? You sweating bullets, man. So y'all know I ain't lying. If you've been there, you've been there.
Yeah, I mean, if you living with a woman when you doing dirt, man, that's very risky, man.
You living with her? Oh, you a dummy. You a fool if you living with a woman. If you in her place and you cheating.
I mean, either way, while y'all live together where she has access to your stuff.
Okay.
But
especially if you move in with her.
Whew. Oh, yeah. Well, if that's your support system, that's definitely a crash dummy move.
Yeah.
All right, man. We up against the clock. We about to take a quick break. When we get back, we're gonna be getting into tonight's conversation, having a reality check discussion about the unrealistic things people think about dating and relationships. Y'all are tuned into the Ho to Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you in your car, while you at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho to Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Reality Check. We just wanted to talk about some of the harsh realities that come with dating and relationships and some of the unrealistic expectations that people have. The first thing that I wanted to ask y'all, for men and women, what do y'all think, or what would y'all say is the biggest misconception people have about healthy relationships?
Biggest misconception people have about relationships. For women, oh man, that's a tough one. For women, that it's all about them. For women, that the relationship revolves around this happy wife, happy life type mentality. That
read my
you know
mind,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, that it's like everything gotta go their way. I think a lot of women think like that. And then for the men, I think it's like that they don't have to put in as much effort once they actually get the woman, once they actually get her. So that's what I think it is. Like the woman just gonna automatically be happy because she with you, without putting in extra work or the same type of work you did to get her. So I think that's one for men.
Yep.
What about you, Jay?
My thoughts is, for me, it's like people have this misconception that they think, and I think it's both for men and women, when they find, the one, that's it, everybody lives happily ever after. And people don't realize that there's work that goes into it after the fact. Even when you get into relations, even when you get married, and Terry, you can attest to this, right? Marriage isn't the be all end all. There's still work you got to put into it. You still got to have a level of game once you're in a relationship or once you're married.
Yeah, you have to have the crucial aspects of a relationship in order to get through the challenges that just come from normal life, living in the same house with somebody, having a different perspective than another person. It's not always going to be pleasant. You're not always going to be happy with each other. But if there's mutual respect, there's effective communication, if y'all have built the foundation to where you know that they have your best interests at heart, it's easier to get through the conflicts and the issues. You got parenting differences. Like for me and my wife, I grew up broke. My wife's dad is a lieutenant colonel in the Army, so in the Air Force, so she had a much different upbringing than I did. And so it sometimes it comes up when we making decisions for our daughter. But when I would say when we talking about just people in general, I think the biggest misconception that guys have is that just because they're able to get a lot of sex from women, they're good husbands or they're father material. Those things don't necessarily translate to one another.
Quick question for you. Were there any misconceptions that you had prior to your marriage that you realized after the fact you were married?
I had my expectations I didn't think were... I bought into the keep your wife happy type of syndrome.
Okay.
And so the first year of my marriage, I was kind of making decisions. Oh, that's what she wants. I'm gonna do this to make her happy, instead of making the best logical decision long term. Yeah. So for me, the biggest lesson I had to learn, like as a rookie husband, is how to say no. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, we ain't getting a car this year. We about to get this fixed, and then you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes you just got to take charge and tell a woman something that she don't necessarily want to hear. And with me being in a household with a wife and a daughter, I'm always having to be the bad cop. Nah, just because y'all want something don't mean we getting it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of energy. But for women, I would say that their biggest misconception is that being sexy is enough to make a man want to be with them forever. And it's like, we have so many things in society that prove to us that that's not the case. So it's kind of funny that so many women believe that.
But they don't realize, I was gonna say real quick, they don't realize that looks fade, and hey, there's a new crop of young women coming out there every day. A woman's turning 18 every day. A woman's graduating from college every year.
Yeah. And you know how they think that? Because a lot of women only work on their physical appearance because of being a visual, and that's what initially gets them in the door. We know it. Man, they'll go buy $600-800 worth of hair. They'll go spend $200-300 to get their makeup, lashes, eyebrows, nails, toes. They'll do all of it. They'll spend thousands on a BBL, thousands on titties, and their mind is still in the trash. They ain't spent no time making up their mind and fixing up their mental aspects of what it takes to cooperate with a man within a household, remain feminine while still taking care of their business, know how to keep a home and nurture and do these specific things and be submissive to a man's leadership. They ain't spent no time making up that type of stuff. It's really all physical because that's what gets our attention. But when it comes to getting a ring from us, you need those other things, and that's what a lot of women are lacking.
SD, man, you said thousands on BBL. Man, someone's spending tens of thousands of dollars paying a damn car note for those BBLs.
I know, I get it, right? I understand.
It's the easy button. Easy button. I mean, it's painful for a lot of them, but there in today's society, so many women can monetize their looks easily. A lot of them view that as an investment. The type of men that they get attention from and dick from goes up. You get dope boys, athletes, you know what I'm saying, entertainers, etc. in their DMs, trying to sleep with them. And a lot of them confuse that with those guys wanting to be with them long term. I guess the only phenomenon that they get is if they luck up and get pregnant by one of the dudes.
Yeah. God, that's worthy. But you know what I saw today? Because we are living in the time of the simp. That's what we are living in. In the time of the simp. I seen a woman today that was 560 some pounds.
What?
Had OnlyFans, and she makes 50 grand a month eating cake. Her belly is like here, and it's all spread out. Like, you got to see this. And she puts the cake on her stomach, and she sit there and just eat cake. That's her OnlyFans. She ain't naked. She just sit there and eat cake. And these
people
dudes all day, man, a gang of money. So my point is, he was saying women can monetize their looks. Yes. It's a chick that's making 20 grand a month selling her farts in a jar.
What?
20 grand a month selling her farts in a jar, bro.
That's insane,
These
bro.
Out here, yeah, but what I'm saying is, it's so many lame simps out here doing this type of stuff that women can monetize anything off the back of a man. And then when they actually get,
especially if it's sexual.
Yeah, like, and they expect this type of payment and these types of things from men that they actually date, because everything that they have done for men has been for finances in today's day and age. And it's tough. So, and they have unrealistic expectations when they get out here and start dating.
Man, just to touch on what you said, what kind of dude do you have to be to order a fart from a chick online? Like, I've seen dudes buy dirty panties from chicks, and these Instagram models. Man, they want to smell it, man. They actually sell they dirty underwear. You know what I'm saying? Like, they monitor. Yeah, $70-80. Like, it's not cheap either. They taxing these dudes. So I mean, I know that category of guy exists. Bruh.
It's more of them. It's a whole lot of them. Look, did you see the study that came out that said 63% of men under 30 are single and would rather be home watching porn? What you think they watching? They ordering OnlyFans. They hitting these chicks up in their DMs and saying, "Hey, send me your panties, or send me your used socks, or send me a fart in a jar, or whatever."
You know what? It's not even just the simp culture. We live in we living in the incel here as well, especially online where that's who's buying it. These incels that's in their mama's basement playing video games that's doing this stuff, man.
It's sad because, like I said, the women then come out here and then have unrealistic expectations for the men they actually like. And those men be like, man, I ain't doing this, because the men they typically like don't have to do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to order farts in a jar from no chick. He like, man, what are you talking about? I ain't ordering no farts in a jar. I ain't doing none of that. I ain't paying you to be with me either. You know what I mean? And it messes up.
How could you? I mean, I guess there's some brilliance to coming up with an idea like that, but how can you take a woman seriously that makes a living like that? Even though I guess theoretically a woman could make a couple $1 million and then change careers or whatever. It's just hard for me to see how that mentality is going to change and ever be conducive enough to last long term. And so that led me to the question I wanted to ask y'all.
Hey, Terry, hold on real quick. Can you hold that thought real fast? I got a question.
Sure.
I got a question I want to ask, since we just talked about that. Could you seriously date, Jay, this is kind of more for you, and Terry, you can answer too, a woman that has an OnlyFans, but she's not necessarily doing anything sexual? Like, shorty just eating the cake, she's just eating the cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. If these fools want to give her $50,000 a month, I won't look at her funny. I won't look at her any type of way. Or if it's just her hands.
No, that's something. That's something that's not sexual. But I do still think that expectation of making that type of money, doing something just for the specific role of making money, it's hard to think that woman's gonna be able to cooperate with a normal, rational, reasonable guy. It's hard for me to see him have been able to have a relationship dynamic that could actually last with a type of woman that's living like that.
I see what you're saying. I would say it depends on what it is. If I would date, like, let's just say she put an OnlyFans to show workout videos or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, people are paying to see her workout, fine. But if she's sitting there in lingerie and people are paying for that, I can take it serious.
So she's working out with her butt showing and the camera up under her head. Like, it's the same thing. You're selling your attractiveness to the people that want to pay for it. I don't knock it. It is what it is. But when you talk about what it takes to have a healthy relationship, that was my question I wanted to ask y'all. What would y'all say are the key fact components that are there to make a relationship sustainable?
Respect. That's like
I'd say mutual.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. From both parties, not just one. Also compromising from both parties. Accountability from both parties. Transparency from both parties. And being able to solve conflicts together without causing other conflicts. That's typically what happens. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get into something, now somebody says something. Yeah, so I mean, I think that type of stuff, man, can help build a relationship. It's foundational things, and then you can build other things off the foundation. And trust from both people, right? But if you don't have that respect in the foundation, you don't have that trust in the foundation, you don't have that compromise, you don't have that accountability, that relationship gonna be rocky. It's gonna be like it's built on sand with nothing under it, man. All it takes is something to happen, and boom, it's gone. You know, because it wasn't built on nothing solid. Yeah. So those things need to be in the foundation of a relationship, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would piggyback off of what SD said. I would say respect first and foremost. But number two, I would say, are you realizing if you two are compatible? Because one thing, if I'm gonna live, let's just say I'm gonna live with somebody, are we compatible, number one? And do I like you enough to even consider living under the same roof as you? right? Another thing I would say, being like-minded. Now, like-minded doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, you got to agree on everything, but your core values align here. That's what I mean by that here. And I know this one sounds cliche, but being equally yoked with one another. I do think that's important. Just because if you're going one way and the one is going in another direction, how is that going to work here? So
I think a lot of people have this unrealistic view of marriage. Like, my husband's gonna be my best friend, and we're gonna play together. We're gonna work out every day. It's like, whoa. Marrying somebody does not mean that they don't want alone time, that you're not gonna have interests that don't overlap. You have to have an actual life of your own in order to actually come to a relationship and maintain your identity and contribute. Because if you allow the marriage or the relationship to define you, that's going to be problematic long term. And so I think a lot of people underestimate that.
No doubt. I would just say another ingredient here is building like SD was saying, built on sand. I would say building it on substance as opposed to all the superficial things. Now, that's not to say that looks don't matter or money doesn't matter, but is there real substance there? Because if there's no substance, you're building it on shaky ground, and like that's a recipe for disaster there, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you know what, man, that people should start having, man, is an understanding. Building your relationship off of an understanding. And by that, I mean, like, hey, okay, this is the role that I see me playing in this relationship as the man. This is the role I see you playing as the woman. How is that? Because some people, men, don't want to play their role. They like, hey, I don't know about all this providing stuff. And then you got the woman where she like, I don't know about this submissive stuff. And now y'all 6-7 months in, and y'all like, well, what we gonna do? Like, coming to an understanding of what a relationship.
How long do it take you to figure out if you're compatible with a chick or not?
For things like that, it don't take too long, man, because I'm a veteran. I'm gonna ask you questions. What you think about the word submissive, beloved? And I'm gonna listen to what she gotta say. Do you think you need a man? Oh no, I don't need no man. Okay. Cancel the cheese on her burger, please, garçon. She ain't getting no cheese on her burger, man. No, sir. Because she don't. So I'm asking these types of questions to see what where she at with her. What do you view like? How do you see yourself being a wife? Do you see yourself, or what do you think? My thing is like, now like I really don't want my woman working full time. When I get into a relationship, or when I get married rather, I don't want my wife working full time. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel, hey, I went to school for 5 years, so I don't want to go part time? Or are you like, well, yeah, a husband is more important to me than a career, especially if you got us and we're good. Those types of things for me, man, that's why I take my time trying vetting these women and searching out the woman that best fits for me before I jump and try to get into a relationship, because these things are important for me. I don't want no boss chick. I don't want no chick that's running around working 50-60 hours for Amazon or AT&T or whoever. Like, no, because that's going to take time away from me. So therefore, we have to have an understanding as a couple of what this relationship is going to look like. And if we ain't got that from the jump, if we ain't on the same wavelength of what this is going to look like, it's okay. I ain't mad at you. I'm going to just keep it moving and find something else that better suits me.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. Another I wanted to touch on, I see a lot of people that try to get guarantees or assurances about what's going to happen. Dudes that we see it all the time. Dudes that try to take a chick out, trying to get a guarantee. Yeah, guarantee that he's going to get sex. Flying a chick out. With chicks that try to come up with cute ways to ask questions to get you to verbally commit to a commitment and these type of things. What are y'all thoughts on this I don't know what you want to call it, this backwards way of trying to get guarantees out of dating?
Look, this is the way I see it, right? To me, those are shortcuts. Mm-hmm. And typically, when you shortcut something, it typically don't work. I don't care if you in school and you trying to shortcut your way through a test or homework, and now you get to the end and you can't pass your SATs or you can't do this here because you done shortcut your way to the process. You can't shortcut your way through the dating process on either end. You know what I mean? So if a woman is sitting up here trying to find a man that loves her more, or she ain't gonna text back because she don't want to seem too available, all these here different things that they trying to shortcut the process, to me, they just cheating themselves. So that's the way I see that type of stuff, is them cheating themselves out of something potentially good.
Right. I mean, honestly, for me, I don't see a point of trying to get guarantees and assurances, because they act like men just don't lie. They can just tell you what you want to hear. Yeah, we gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna get married to you within the next year or so. Blah blah blah. Just to get just to get some ass from a, you know. Oh, yeah. So dudes, especially whole face men, dudes do it all the time.
Come on, man, every day.
Yeah. See, I see a lot of women place disproportionate amount of weight on what a man says to them and the type of questions they ask. And if what you told them doesn't end up coming to fruition, they make it seem like you lied to them or you were playing. Yeah. But the reason that I have an issue with the whole guarantees and assurances philosophy is because relationships are always fluid. You could be dating somebody or you meet somebody new, and unexpectedly you could have a conversation with them where they say or do something they make you cut them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So there is no guarantee that we gonna be kicking it next week. There is no guarantee that you're gonna be friends with somebody next year. And so I think the philosophy behind it is flawed from the start.
The way you gotta look at it is like this: no matter what you do, just in life in general, your success rate is never going to be 100%. So, like you said, there's no guarantees that, you know, this is gonna be the one or this is gonna be the guy that you marry, and that's just the way they gotta look at it here.
Well, you got some women now trying to guarantee it, like and get what they want by saying, all right, well, I'm a born again virgin. Nobody getting no sex until I'm married. Like, I mean, you can guarantee, like if you really stick to that, you can guarantee that the next person you sleep with is gonna be your husband. But you can't guarantee you're gonna like it or that it's gonna last. But if it makes you, you know what I'm saying, that's how you want to do what you do, then go ahead. But out here just normally, regularly dating, out here in the dating world, you can't guarantee nothing. You can be a good person, but you see a lot of women, I see a lot of women say this, yeah, but I did everything. I was this, I was feminine, I was friendly, I was this, and he still cheated. Sweetheart, ain't no guarantees. It's just like Charles Barkley and all these other NBA players or NHL players or baseball players. All of these here people go to the league to try to be a champion, but very few of them do it, even though they still put in all that work season in, season out, and they still don't reach the championship, but they still put in the work because their chances are better. So if you're doing all these here things and it don't work out for you, that don't mean that it's wasted time. That's just bettering your chances for reaching your end goal, because if you don't do the work, if they don't go to practice, if they don't work on their game, just like you working on yourself as a woman, you will never probably win that championship or get that man that you want to marry you, because you are the total opposite of what it takes to get what you actually want.
Yeah, it's with what we do on social media, man. We see the negative side of trying to speak to women in a brutally honest way. The disrespect, the attempts to discredit you or try to twist your words, all that stuff. It doesn't hurt us. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing all right with our dating strategies and our perspectives. the mentalities though, man, it's like the more we talk about it and the more these videos go viral, it just seems like we're doomed as a society because there's nobody that can force people to change their mentality. And these women that want a $300,000 dude, or they convince themselves that, well, I'm not settling. And it's like, well, damn, you have the potential to be a wife, but you just chose not to put in the work, like SD just mentioned. And it's kind of sad when you think about it.
Yeah, but I don't feel sorry for them, so forget it. Because most of, like, I know you're saying like it's kind of sad, but listen, most of the women, man, like that, like you're talking about, they don't want to put in the work, man. They don't care what men want or what men think. I just posted about it today, you know, where guys talk about just wanting a submissive woman, or wanting a feminine woman, or wanting a woman that wears her own hair, or a woman that works out and tries to keep herself in shape. That type of man is usually met with insults and shame. Oh, you like men, just say you want a man. And it's like, I don't feel sorry for these women. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to give us what we want as men. You don't want to give the men what they want. Don't complain when you don't get it. That's all. So ain't sad to me, man. Forget them.
They just don't want to put the work in.
Mr. Heartless. Mr. Heartless and uncompassionate over here.
But they causing it themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. Most of it. I think most of the dating problems women have are self-inflicted.
Yeah, that's like a dude, right? That's like a guy that's causing his own problems. Like, bro, you went out there and robbed them people and got 18 years in jail. Morant. I ain't feeling sorry for you. Yeah, like, bro, you shouldn't have did it. You should have been smarter with what you were doing. You the one got played for your money. You showing her all this money and she used you for it. Don't come to me for sympathy after the fact. This is all your problem, your issue that you caused yourself. You ain't gonna get no sympathy from me, man. I ain't got time to feel sorry for people that ain't trying to help themselves. I feel sorry for the women that's actually doing the work, that's having trouble finding the good men out here, and the good men that's actually, you know, worked on themselves and want a woman to actually love them for them. Them the people I feel sorry for. Not these deadbeats and these here heifers out here, man, that's doing everything under the sun and complaining about they can't get what they want. Well, no, you're not gonna get what you want. You ain't putting in the work to get it. So cry to somebody else.
All right, man. Look like we are up against the clock. We're about to get up out of here, but before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. Jay and SD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get the episode knocked out.
Sure.
This has been another episode of the Ho to Husband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.